Alrighty, let's get to it. This is our burnt valve right here. We're going to need our favorite 36050 valve keeper removal tool. Take off the bucket. I'm actually surprised Hyundai doesn't have hydraulic lash adjusters. And this tool should go right over the cap like that. Let's give it a whack. Alright, here we go. Now you have to put something under the valve to keep it from going down. So just a paper towel, put the weight of the head on there. I'm telling you guys, if you do any sort of work like this, that tool is the bee's knees. And here we go. Wow, yep, torched right through. Huge gash in there. I'm trying to get the lighting from the shop light here. Yep, another one for the wall of shame. Oh no, really bad news. The spare valves are not the same. They're too small. They're too short. What the heck? I know I ordered the right part number, but Hyundais, they always mix up like intake and exhaust, or left and right. Dang it. So the actual seat of that valve doesn't look bad. Just like all the other ones we've seen. Some pitting. That'll lap right out. We have to get the right valves though. Oh, this is so frustrating. I ordered the right part number from Rock Auto, OEM. It's supposed to be genuine parts. There it is. If you click on info, this looks exactly like the valve that we just took out. See, the little notch is close to the tip. This box is not genuine Hyundai, it's Anjun Industrial. And you can see there's like a bigger, it's the wrong valve. They put the wrong valves in the box or whatever. This is not what I ordered. Really frustrating. Now, waste my time, waste the customer's time. I have to go, what am I supposed to do? Order more from somewhere else? Return this crap? Ah, so frustrating. Back to the Hyundai Sonata. Well, my plans were set back by almost a week by Rock Auto. Because these valves, I ordered OEM and they sent me these Anjun valves, completely wrong valves, even though the part number matches. Go figure that one out. And then the head gasket set, never heard of this brand before, Ajusa. Apparently made in Spain. There you go. Again, looks reasonable, right? Hyundai 2.4. But apparently this is not for the GDI version. This is for like the regular fuel injection version. And the head gasket, even if you get the GDI kit, it'll be wrong. It'll be this one, which is the wrong head gasket. So everything is wrong. I call the dealer up. I'm like, I need parts. Valves, head gasket. They said a whole gasket kit was like $400, so I just opted just to get the head gasket for $150. All the other gaskets, they're rubber. They're not that old. We'll reuse them. No big deal. However, I did get 8 brand new valves, and I'll show you. These are the correct valves. 25002. OEM, obviously an oil filter, timing chain from Rock Auto, that's correct, that's OEM. And I got a set of new head bolts. Now why is that? Generally, I don't mind reusing head bolts, but one of these was deformed and it was actually hard to get out of the head. When I put it back in, it almost seized. So that's not good. I've never had that issue before, but I'm like, I'm going to play it safe, order all new head bolts, and put this thing back together the right way. So now that we have all the correct parts, let's change these exhaust valves out. Alright, so where were we here? Oh yes. So, bad valve. Let's make sure the new one is an exact match. And it is. The little notch, same length, same diameter. So, thank goodness the dealer could get these in a reasonable amount of time. So let's get to lapping. Get our favorite fine lapping compound. Again, we've seen this process in other videos, so I'll just do this one, but we'll replace obviously all the valves. And the trick to check the valve seal is the seal should hold the valve in place. That means the rubber's still okay. So we're not replacing valve seals, even though people are gonna complain. Just replace everything. Well, this really needs a new engine because it's an oil burner. It's a Hyundai. It has 200,000 miles. This is just to get it back on the road. And I'll tell the guy, don't keep it for too long. I'd recommend selling it and getting something a little more reliable. But this will do for now. So we'll do our classic. Let's see here. There's our valve. So rub it in, turn it. Rub it in, turn it. Honestly, if you just replace one valve and the head gasket, this car will be back on the road. But we're going a little further. Some people might say, hey, like the intake valves are dirty, you got to take those out, clean all that carbon out. You know what? Like I said, this thing's an oil burner, so that carbon's just going to add up again. It's not misfiring at idle, doesn't have any of those symptoms. So not too worried about all that stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the valve seat. So it looks about the same as all the other oil burners we've seen. Yes, there are some small pits, but as long as that surface is mostly uniform, she'll be okay. Maybe a little more lapping and then we'll slap it back in. Alright, time to reinstall the valve spring. Move this end down, and also the lash adjuster. Now this is just a bucket. Make sure there's still oil on the cylinder walls there. Okay, let's put on the keeper. And the two little bits. What wonder how they do this at the factories. It's just like a poof, all the valves at the same time. Classic installer tool. Let's see if this works. Beautiful. They're in. Installer shim. Perfect. Now I've just got 7 more to do. Won't bore you with those details, and we'll slap this thing back together. So valve number 2 on the same piston. I mean, yeah, it's got some crap on it. The seat doesn't look great, but pretty typical. I have to scrape that carbon out of there and blow it out with an air nozzle, but yeah, I mean, I think this engine will keep going for a little while longer, but eventually the oil burning will kill it. Well, it's a very good thing we're replacing all the exhaust valves. Like this one on cylinder number 3, there's a couple very suspicious spots where the same thing was going to happen soon. There's another spot. And the seat, you see the kind of corresponding spots where it wasn't sealing perfectly anymore, just from all this carbon buildup. That's what's causing it. So what I do is just, scrape out the perimeter, so these chunks don't accidentally get back on the seat and wreak havoc. And then this will just blow out the exhaust port anyways. Now we'll take the new valve and lap it in. Repeat the process for cylinders 2 and 1. Sweet! All 8 exhaust valves replaced. Here they are in their carboned up beauty. There's the customer complaint right there. So, wall of shame there. And just for good luck, I'm going to give each one of these a little tap. Perfect. For the intake valves, I'm not going to touch those. Maybe blow them out with some compressed air, but I mean, they look uglier than they seem. This is common to all GDI engines. Even if you walnut blast them and make them all perfect, they're just going to look like this in 1,000 miles. So I'd say just leave it alone and drive it. Alright, a little progress report. Head is on, torque down. Camshafts are on, cam caps are torqued down. This big cam cap is sealed. New timing chain is on, spot on the money. Nice pretty little pink links there. Everything's aligned. Timing chain guides are in. And you can see the tensioner now. Let's count how many teeth are exposed on the tensioner. See if this can focus there. Maybe 1, 2 teeth. We started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that old chain was stretched to the max. Again, good thing we're replacing all the exhaust valves, timing chain. At least it'll give this engine a chance to keep going for a while. When I was aligning the chain, I was using these hex pieces on the cam to turn the cams to align the links. Exhaust was fine. The intake, I was turning it this way and the cam actually turned, not the sprocket. So now the cam is like fully advanced because this is an electric motor, and when this starts up, well, it'll probably figure itself out. But I want to return it back to home. How do we do that? Well, we need power and ground on these 2 rings. So I got the battery, some jumper leads, and a very safe way to power up devices. No, not with a power probe, with a test light where you know the amperage. So I hooked up my 1 amp test light, and people ask, how do you build this thing? So this is a dual bulb little sub harness from, I think, a Chevy truck. And I just put banana leads on there. So this is the common, that's the black, and the brown goes to the tail circuit. That's 1 amp because we have 2 bulbs at 500 milliamps apiece, so they're in parallel. The green goes to the brake light circuit. That's 2 amps per bulb, so 4 amps total there. If you connect them together, you get 5 amps. You can take 1 bulb out, so from anywhere from half an amp to 5 amps right here. Very easy, just 2 bulbs and some banana jacks. So what I want to do is provide power and ground controlled to this motor. So on the 1 amp setting, it'll draw up to 1 amp. I think that should be safe. And you would think, hey, be careful, don't let your power touch the ground. Well, look, if it does, we actually see what happens. Oh, wow, so dangerous. So you're not going to blow fuses or anything if you use a test light. So let's try it. Let's see. Let's try it one way. See if the cam turns. If not, we'll try the other way. All right, here we go. Just want to make sure these are the same length. So I'm going to just touch them to the rings. So I guess we need more current than 1 amp, because obviously the motor did not turn either way. Alright, let's bump it up to 5 amps, or let's start with 4. So I'm connecting my yellow lead to the green wire now, and if these 2 leads touch together, we get a nice bright light. Let me set up the camera, we'll see if we can turn this camshaft. Alright, here we go. Here's up to 4 amps. Let's try one way. Okay, try the other way. So I actually saw the little thing turn, the little hub. Now I guess we can try 5 amps. So just add the brown to the green. Now, let me see which way this thing wants to turn. I want to retard it. So advancing is turning counterclockwise. We want to turn clockwise. Let's see. Yes, so that's clockwise. So I'm going to attach current here and then try to retard the cam. It's actually working. So the sucker probably takes like 10 amps to turn the cam. Okay. So again, you can manually advance it, but to retard it, I'd say it's good enough. I'll slap on a timing cover, valve cover, all the other stuff. Alrighty, the Hyundai Sonata is back together. Everything's buttoned up. Fresh oil, fresh filter. Coolant bled out. That took a little while. Didn't run it yet. So let's see how it starts, how it runs. Take it for a test drive. Hopefully I can get this thing out of the garage and ship it back to the customer today. Well, I guess that was pretty uneventful. Let's take it for a spin. Alright, let's see how this baby accelerates. Running super smooth. Back in business. I don't know if I should give the owner a 1-year guarantee or not, but how about 1 month? Yep. So that's it. Diagnosis. You basically, if you see enough of these, then you can diagnose it. Seat of the pants. Classic misfire. At idle due to low compression. Usually, it's a burnt exhaust valve. Check the oil. Yeah, it's an oil burner. Too bad the owner self-diagnosed it and asked a tire shop to replace his GDI injector. I would say that, unfortunately, that's the owner's fault. I mean, the shop should have done a little better job, but just sloppy work. Didn't need an injector. I guess not too much harm done. And that's it. So, appreciate everyone watching. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.